Okay, you're live.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ding, 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 ding. Greetings, Penguin Fidels, and welcome to the and Penguin Show and Badger Show. Hey, you got the bald penguin with the hat and no hair and the sunglasses here, coming at you live from the Eagle and Badger studio. You got the bald, you got the penguin, and of course, to our lovely left is the
Honey Badger!
Hello, Honey Badger! Yay! I was yelled at today for not giving Pittsburgh some black and gold love. So ABO, if you're watching, there's your Pittsburgh black and gold love, girl. Today's episode of the Sesame Street Meets Eagle and Badger show is brought to you by the Penguin and
The Badger!
give me. Oh, here we go! Yay! and the big
Wait,
and the badger emerges from his nest. Hello. It's like the cover. It's like the
I told
poster
you
for
I had
Don.
a badger.
You do got a badger. Although you know the redheaded steamroller called you the beaver today.
I know.
I
like,
loved
"What?
it.
The beaver?"
The redheaded steamer goes. She goes, "Where's the beaver?" I said, "Look about 2.5 feet down. You'll find it." You know, it's like, hey. Welcome, all you beautiful infidels, to the Eagle and
Badger!
Badger Show. I love your badger.
I know, isn't he cute?
That's a beautiful fuzzy badger you have there.
Badger.
Do you trim your badger?
Oh my god, I can't even with you. I'm done.
Do you butter your badger?
Do I butter my badger? I think that's a little personal question there, Clay.
Oh my god. Well, you know, hey, we had the Lone Star Spitfire on last night, and I know she's watching.
I love her.
Man, I'll tell you what. You know, guess who introduced themselves to each other?
Who?
The ex-Georgia Peach, Tina 2.0 Ferguson. Those two have got to meet because with Texas meeting Tennessee and, of course, Dennis Thomas, our Alabama Slammer, you have a trifecta of the southern states, and that connects more. That's more pegs in our map of the world of the Eagle and Badger.
You guys should have like the southern coalition of conservatives, and then we'll start the northern coalition of conservatives, and then they're in trouble.
That's right. And and I asked for some help on my pre-promo. And by the way, I liked yours too, Badger. We got to get you that. You need to shoot me a photo where I can trim it down and have a really cool like badger emblem. I want to put that up there so I can use that for the next round of t-shirts. Gotta love that. But yes, there's Andrew Anderson. He is happy he goes, what the hell happened to my beloved Penguins? Well, you know, I wish I could follow Pittsburgh sports a lot more than I have recently, but Andrew, you got to tell me, homeboy. You know, Andrew lives in Forest, Virginia, where I used to live. It's hard to find Forest, Virginia. But Regina Burns, and Dennis Thomas is on here. There's Rita. He shoots and scores a goal is on here too. Kaylee Coey says Joe Salee was introduced to Young Frankenstein. Good kiddo. Young Frankenstein is a great Mel Brooks movie. You've never seen it.
Okay, now I was like, that comment flew out of nowhere. I'm like, what is she talking about? Is that like a hockey player? But no, I get what you're saying now.
She said she laughed at Frau Blucher when the pony goes. Tell you what, good job, kiddo. I grew up on movies like that, and that was back in the day, man, when movies were great. The entire 1970s decade was I think it's the greatest decade of movies that were ever made. I mean, there was so many good ones that came out in the 70s and early 80s. What do you think, Badger? I know you grew up on like Short Circuit 2 and, Gremlins the New Batch and Fraggle Rock Goes to Paris.
I love Short Circuit and Gremlins and The Navigator.
Oh,
Do you remember The Navigator?
Yes.
I remember watching that like all the time because we never had cable or anything. So it was always like, they had like the Saturday like afternoon movie or whatever. So they always played that. What else did they used to play? I don't remember. I used to love The Navigator.
Do you remember Mystery Science Theater 3000?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember like watching it as a kid.
They had the three silhouettes that would sit in front of like that, and they'd riff on bad movies. Oh man, I'm gonna have to loan you some of these sometimes, and if you ever get a chance, they brought it back for a couple years, and it just. You know how things are. They try to bring them back. It was good, but not as good. Still better than most stuff that's on television.
It's like when they remake movies, like what they made. Oh, they remade like Annie.
Oh yeah.
That was terrible.
When they remade Poseidon Adventure, which is only good for the overturning scene in the remake. I mean, the overturning scene in the remake of the Poseidon Adventure was fantastically done. But it was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, and they chopped it all to hell. They must have cut out 50 minutes of character development, and then it was just a big here comes a tidal wave, and then the woman falls out of the elevator and goes splat. But the rest of it was just kind of, I mean, the 1972 version was untouchable. And then Kaylee Coe says, Blazing Saddles, good luck finding that one. If you tried to make Blazing Saddles in today's era, they'd burn that studio down. That's the problem. Blazing Saddles broke all the rules, and it was a classic, probably one of the funniest films of all time. Dennis Thomas needs one of the t-shirts, and Matt, Scrabble name, Kavaluskas, Scrabble name. And he asked me why. I said, when you always open the bag at the end of the Scrabble game, you get the K and the V and an S. And it looks like trying to fit it in between like 17 words that, when you play with your kid, they always box you in. So Matt, lovely shirt.
So Matt
look good on him too.
4 or 5 others got their shirts today. They met up with us at the rally we were at and got their shirts. And if you guys want to purchase a Eagle and Badger shirt, we would greatly appreciate it. You can send an email to claycoe@gmail.com with your shirt size and what are we doing? It's $24.99 and that includes shipping, right?
And you link me to the PayPal account, right?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Yep, we can do that. We'll get them sent right out because I am completely caught up today. That was a nice thing. Today was a grand day. I got to talk to
it was amazing. Today was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yes. And as we've always said, patriotism should be fun. It does get laborious. We have a lot of work to do still. And you know what I forgot for Bill Alexander the Great, though? And they were sitting on the front seat of my car, and I go to get a pop after we're done with the rally today. I got 90 signatures for the Repeal 45 just sitting right there. And I forgot to give him the folder, but I will be seeing Bill again, and I'll get more because Antonius Samlarius Maximus and the Redheaded Steamroller also signed it today. And didn't she do a good job out there, man? I'll tell you what, Redheaded Steamroller, you gotta love that girl.
Yeah, and we had some new Patriots join us too, which is always fun.
Yep.
I think that's why I always get mad when the GOP is like, road rallies don't do anything, and I'm like, yeah, they do because. We just got 3 new grassroots members to join up and agree to help us. And, it's just like the moral support too. I mean, look how many people were like, it's so awesome you're doing this. And we're honking and waving and having fun. And I think that's what patriotism is about. It's not about hiding, in your home going, yay, go Trump. It's about standing out on a corner and waving a damn flag around and saying, I love my country. There's nothing better feeling than that either. Like,
guys,
it's amazing.
I know. It's like, guys, it's 2020. It's okay to come out now. Okay. You don't have to live in your Trump closet and and hide your man nipples under your Trumper sticker, and come out with wrapped in a Biden flag. It's okay to come out now. Nobody will judge you. I promise. Closeted Trump lives matter too. So you may come out, stand with us. Hey, I tell you, I walked down. They had the counter protesters there. At least they were peaceful. Shook the one guy's hand. Like, thank you for coming out.
I was like, I waved hi to him, and she was like, ah, and I'm like, well, that's not nice. I was just waving hello.
I think we were called "We're number one" a lot today.
Oh yeah.
Then
a
you
lot
had
of people
honk honk
were like,
honk.
"You're number one."
And what was unique was when I was down there talking to them, I would watch the cars that didn't like them and then come back and honk at Anthony and Reds and Tim and Bill
Yep.
and you and Beck. And our folks drove by and didn't flip them off. They just drive by, do their thing. I can never figure out why someone will keep driving around a corner for an hour and a half to flip you off. Remember the beach rally? You know, the
They're
open
so
the park.
upset.
Yeah,
I get so upset.
I agree. Oh, Tim Lalexa, or Haskell in the non-dyslexic speaking world, got his shirt out there in Sin City.
Did he send us a picture?
He said he wants to have his wife do it. Tim, stretch your big old long arms out and take a selfie, man. Go to the bathroom, take all your clothes off, just put your shirt on and send the badger a selfie just from the waist up. She gets them all the time anyway. we can crop things out. But yes, I agree. We want to see pictures of you in it. We got about 9 of them today. We'll post them. Of course, your world's famous Democrat got his. I saw him at the gas station too when I was doing the pre-promo. Hi, Jimmy.
He's my favorite Democrat.
I've got a lot of favorite Democrats. You know, and talking to the Democrats, they are the ones like James that they just think differently politically. That's fine. Are starting to come around. You're beginning to see that because the longer you see this garbage going on, the longer the people get impatient and on either sides. You know, eventually. Yeah. When I was listening to Nikki's live feed today. By the way, Nikki, my soul sister from another mister, you rocked it in that Eagle Badger shirt. Man, if you didn't see that, that's the American Patriot movement that was under the correct. That's what that was.
They started out an American Patriot movement. Now they have like American Patriot panel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Ryan Kelly was on there with her. Because you had Ryan Kelly, you had Nikki. If you haven't a chance, I know it's on Nikki's page, and she has the Happy Patriots page, which I encourage you all to go and like as well. Nikki I met her in May, and she's from Flint. And I'll tell you what, the girl is a friggin' rock star. Honestly, she tells it like it is. She's firm but fair, and she's patient about it. She will listen to the opposing side because she's lived it. And this is the kind of individual that has been able to fashion in her mind the ability to look at all the sides and develop your own ideas.
Oh, I mean, and she's such an amazing friend too. Like, I don't know, I've called her a couple times, just like, I'm like, Nikki, I don't understand.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, you showed me that.
I showed it to you off the air, but I haven't shown the audience on the air.
Oh,
because you know
I've seen it.
Right. Well, you know the audience. You know what kind of audience we have here. We have not only the smartest and the most informed, but also the
best looking
audience in all of media. But talk about best looking things. I encourage you to go to Casey Scarnegie and her page.
Brooke has got some skill. I ordered like 4 cups from her already, I think.
Tell me about it. I'm gonna order one that says like and greetings infidels on here. But her card came in with the mail. It's called 1,000 Little Things. Mm-hmm. And remember, Casey Scarnegie, rock star patriot though she is, this is Nevada Hall's aunt. Not only was her last month consumed with things you never want to feel as a parent or a family member of a missing child, but she took the time to make both the Badger and myself these beautiful tumblers, which in working retail for 18 years, I have not seen its equal. I mean, this thing is like boned. Yeah. I mean, you could drop this thing.
I know. I got it, and I was like, oh my God, this thing is epic. Like, she made me a Trump one the first time, and then I ordered one for Becky, and then I have my Loki one she made me.
Yep. We have such amazing patriots, and of course, Liz Joint. We met she and her husband, Tim. Yeah. They gave Lacey a cute little like a lunch pail, and inside are like cat ears and like earmuffs, and the actual soundtrack for the movie Cats.
Oh, cool! So, my daughter loves Cats. That's awesome.
Casey Scarnegie, Liz Joint, you all are rock stars. I'll tell you what. We are very, very lucky and fortunate to have friends like this. These are friends that stick together. This is what patriots do. And one by one, as they come on board, and as you meet them, they walk up, you talk to them for 20 minutes, and you share their stories. You find out where they're from. And meeting Matt, and I forget his friend's name. I'm sorry. But what a nice man. And they share, and it's like, thank you. Our job, folks. And the one probably gift that the Badger there and myself were given was this, our mouth and our ability to convey a message in not just a humorous way, because we like to have fun. You got to have fun. But we also love to be able to inform, excuse me, and be animated. Sometimes you get the same speaker and they're very boring and stiff, but the message is still important to hear. We try to break it down and convey it, because if it's not entertaining, we always call it the Limbaugh effect. You ever listen to Limbaugh for 3 hours?
I've tried.
The man is as funny as Gallagher used to be back in the day. I mean, he can tell a story for 3 hours without stuttering, stammering, and it's interesting, it's informative, it's controversial, it can be in your face. And what he does oftentimes is convey a message that is so earthy. And I listen to him whenever I get a chance to for 31 years. Oh my God, I'm really dating myself now. But the ability to do that and convey it and portray it into words that people want to hear is something hopefully we do for our most beautiful, most well-informed, and of course our smartest audience in all of media, because we got a prettier audience than Limbaugh. I'm sorry, we just do. But we do.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why we do what we do, because we want to make sure that people who have these stories have a place to share it, because we know,
correct.
In Michigan here, it's very much the same repeated people. And it's not saying these are bad people or anything like that, but it's like, that once you've heard their story, it's great. It's an amazing story. But then it's like, okay, but you've said the same thing at 60 different rallies. Where are the patriots that are going out there every day? Like Cam, right? Like Cam had an interesting story, yet nobody would share it.
Correct.
And it's like, we have to start sharing things, and we have to start, like, I think the most important thing is to let people know they're not alone.
Bingo.
Right?
You read my mind. You read my mind.
Yeah.
That is yes. And when I realized that? When I did the Harrisburg rally. It's like, you think a lot of times Michigan patriots, we think we're all alone in this. Then you go to Harrisburg, and you drive over to Trenton, New Jersey, and then you drive back to Harrisburg, and you see their rallies get done. Then you come back to Michigan thinking, okay, I know that there's 2 or 3 states in the same boat. We all know how New York is. I haven't yet been up there, but I know tons of people in New York. However, what really sewed it all together, and I'm glad that Tim is on here, because I would say a good third of all of the connections that we have and friends that I have on my entire list are from Carson City or Las Vegas. We met them there, and then you see something like Las Vegas, which is totally different than. Did you ever see the show Life After People?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? In a Life After People, here's how the world will exist. And then the Space Needle falls over, and the Sears Tower collapses after 250 years or whatever it is. But that is what Vegas looked like on May 1st. We're standing there, literally. There was so many that came out from Michigan to help conduct those rallies that Matt ran in Vegas and that Tony ran in Carson City. And you had folks from Flint, Evol, she might be on here watching. She's from Flint. And then you look at this and you're realizing Michigan is in really bad shape. But when we met the folks in Nevada, what the folks in Nevada are right now going through, which, by the way, their governor's is about as big of an idiot as Gretsch. However, that place is like a dead zone. All the lights are on and nobody's home. You could literally stand on Las Vegas Boulevard for 5 minutes and not one car went by. I'm taking beautiful pictures. And what is most sad in all of it is these folks were told in March, well, this thing can't survive in heat. And then we'll just go ahead and open. There is no place hotter on earth right now in the middle of summer than.
Oh, sorry. Wasn't supposed to pop. That wasn't supposed to pop up. Yeah, that's something we're going to talk about.
Was that the Gretsch? Was that the Gretsch?
Yes, that was
Oh
the
my
Gretch.
God. Oh, my eyes
Well,
are
we're
turning
talking
up.
about evil governors. I
Oh.
wanted to pull this up. And disclaimer, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it looks pretty dang accurate. So, Clay, what you think about this? So, new mandate, 2 weeks of self lockdown after 15 minutes with a person who has a sore throat. Yeah, this also applies to any one of the principal COVID-19 symptoms, including severe headache, vomiting, and fever. What is going on, Clay? So she's saying, even if you're a healthy person, okay, with no coronavirus symptoms, if you spend 15 minutes within 6 feet of an individual who has a sore throat, you will now be expected to lock yourself down for 14 days in your home or until the individual with a sore throat gets a negative result on a COVID-19 test.
Did she also? When did she announce this? You asked me what's going on here. She is now taking over every aspect of your life. Did you see today the link where she has now barred the media from these ridiculously sickening, these like. My thing is, I am so sick and tired of folks that are like, we just have to listen to Gretch. We have to do what we're told. Jesus, man.
No, damn it.
Right.
Rebel.
That's what they do. It's about time someday. What they're going to do, the ones that are obeying every lockstep way, bootlicking Gretch's boots with her big old belly button stuck out of her dress. She don't get me started on the look. She looks like a Smurf stuffed into a size 3 dress. Okay. But the bottom line comes in. I'm so sick of this woman. She keeps putting up things that suppress your freedoms. People are like, well, can't you be inconvenienced? Yeah. For a month, for 2 weeks. But this is now 6 months. This is not something that's short-lived. This is now going to the extreme.
And some of these things are like crazy because, this one, the self-lockdown must take place after close contact with an individual who displays any one of the symptoms listed. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we're talking about, if we look at these symptoms, fever, sore throat, cough, diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, like how many other things could cause that? I get severe headaches.
Right.
I've had them for years now. It doesn't mean like, oh, she got COVID. I mean, like, this is insane. I'm like, what the
fuck? Well, Mrs. Hawk just said that. Bethany Brown Heikkila goes, or the fever or cough or the runs. And, what gets me is the fact that we always got the runs. I mean, you have to sometimes pee in a bottle when you go to these rallies because you don't have a porta potty. And sometimes you got to wander around the entire city finding an outside garbage can to throw your Diet Coke away or save the cup and pee in that when you go back to your car. So does that mean that we all have to be on lockdown because there's no bathrooms? You can't go inside a McDonald's to take a leak. And there's sometimes just no gas station when they send us out to the middle of nowhere to do a rally. But the bottom line comes in where Bethany nails it. She goes, or the fever or cough or the runs. What if you are on cancer pills, as I am? Okay.
Right.
Yes, they cause me to go to the bathroom because it changes my immune system. And on Tuesdays,
you can eat Taco Bell and you got diarrhea.
Right. So they better come lock me up, Mr. Brown Shirts. And and what's happening is now this is their 5-yard push in. They got the running back trying to push it through for the 6 points plus the 2-point conversion, and they are now going for broke on everything. This is the time where Patriots must stand up and say no more.
No, it's done, guys. Like, I don't know if people like really understand. She's literally saying, okay, so now I'm gonna lock you in the house. Like, they're putting you under house arrest and you've committed no crime. Like,
correct.
Everybody, it's just a mask. It's just this. No, they're literally putting American citizens under house arrest, you guys. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't be around somebody. You've spent 15 minutes around somebody and they say, oh, I've got a headache. And unless that person goes the next day and gets a COVID test, you're stuck in your house for 14 days. how much more can these people do to you guys before
Correct.
you'll wake the F up? Like, I'm not doing it.
I agree.
Screw you, Gretch. I ain't doing it.
Badger, you know I do try to PG rate myself a lot, correct? Especially when I'm on air. May I swear twice?
Nah, it comes flying out sometimes.
Right. May I have permission to swear twice?
Please do. Here it goes, guys. Drum roll.
Good. Here is some East Coast wisdom for you. Fuck you, Gretchen. Fuck your mask.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And if you want to send your brown shirt assholes, that's 3 times, I'm sorry, to come and get me, you better come and get me right now, because it is getting to the point now where people are paranoid of each other. Okay. We saw folks driving by. We must have seen 2,000 cars drive by today. Why are you wearing your mask in your
Yes. I know. I'm like,
sorry.
I saw, did you see the person running? He was jogging with a mask on. I'm like, you're going to kill yourself.
Right. You're going to overheat. You're not taking in enough air. And it is now the point where if you are going to get it, you'd have got it by now. This is now, I'm sorry. I use the farmer's term when they call it the herd immunity. There, I coughed. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna keep on coughing. You have some more COVID, but it gets to the point of now It's been overkill. Yeah. This is now over slaughter. When does it stop? There are not enough patriots rising up to say that is it. Now you are seeing movement from Trump over the last week. And you know Trump is frustrated for 4 months, kind of sitting sequestered and letting the governors do their thing. But now that we're past the primaries, and I believe he was waiting for that, so he knows how to fashion it. Yeah. But Trump is now sitting there saying, open the schools. Just open them. If they're going to get it, they're going to get it. And but what's going to really happen? All these parents saying, well, and did you see yesterday in Lansing, the teachers union is going to fight reopening the schools? And they're like, the headline read, teachers from across Michigan. There was 16 people at that darn rally. I almost said it 5 times, man. Shit, I gotta. See, once I get going, my Pittsburgh mouth gets away from me. But it is to the point now. Yeah, the teachers that I talk to want to go to work. I get they play the protocol game, but you have been off for 6 months. Okay, I'm sorry. Teaching from home is not teaching in the classroom. So here's the game plan, politicians and these people that are now falling slave to this. And I'm going to say the word slave because that's how they're acting. They're acting like, I'm going to go ahead.
Y'all are acting like slaves. You Correct. Are straight up acting like slaves. Get your patriot pants on and say no. Because it's back to work and
do your job. And there's definitely places that are hiring. I went to get a pop after that rally. Okay. Mm-hmm. It took me 25 minutes to get through a McDonald's line. It was 40 cars deep. And it wasn't fast. And these folks were inside working. So there are jobs to be had. Now, when McDonald's is open, you can sit in the lobby or the little McCafe crap that they have going on now. I miss the days when you had the hamburger, high chairs and, you could sit there and just in a booth. Now it's like, it's fancy. And you could play in the balls with the kids and run down the slide. See, I can fit on the slides. I'm under the height requirement. But they get to the point of now you are waiting in line for everything. People can't get driver's licenses on time. They can't read their registration on time. The voting that's coming up is going to be so screwed. It's going to be screwed more than Jenna Jameson. Okay.
I will probably be in jail again if they try to tell me I can't vote. Please try to prevent me from voting.
If you want it, right. Jan Robeck, put that one up there. That's perfect. Aunt Jan, give me liberty or give me COVID. You know what? It comes to the point there. Yeah, I agree.
But no, we can have both. I'm sorry. I'm so tired to death of watching my fellow Americans, especially patriots, when it's like, guys, cases are going up. Death is going down. It is not as bad as they are saying. Why? For God's sake, why are you letting the fear? Because it's not a law. her orders are unconstitutional.
Right.
Literally, your own fear is holding you in slavery. Your own fear of the unknown or what she could do. Guess what? Man, I'm ready. I got to go to jail. I'm going to jail. Guess what? Put me in jail.
Correct.
30 days for freedom is nothing compared to what people before us and people after us will have to give. Man, the F up.
Here's a question I have for you. Probably know us from getting to know me since what, May? Or no, end of April we met. The day after you guys had all the thing go on at the Capitol.
Yep.
Can you name one person, okay, that you have met since April 1st that has met and been around more people than me?
Me.
Maybe. Have you been to 7 different states?
Yes.
Good. So we would, here you go, guys. Here's a fact, okay? We would already, 1, have had it by now, and 2, given it to you. We have met people from, Audra's been in D.C. I've been in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada, and, of course, everywhere in the world here in Michigan. We would have, A, had it by now, and 2, given it to you. Okay, because back when April 15th occurred, you had all these jerks going on the community pages saying, well, now we know who to blame if they bring back the plague and we all die of the zombies. You're a bunch of wimp jerks. Shut your face. Go back to work. You should have done it on May 2nd. These cowards, okay, have been beaten down so much because they thought we were going to kill them all with COVID. But like you just said, the numbers are going way down. It's just the testing has gone way up. Why? Because nobody sits around back in November saying, we better go ahead and inject these vials just in case an asteroid hits. This is not.
And listen, this thing has been around far longer than MSM has told us. I was in a rally of 50,000 people and 20,000 people.
MSM? Mary Siler Moore?
Mainstream media.
Oh, you mean the lamestream media? Fuck them too. There's number 6.
They've been around. This thing has been around longer than we think, and the only reason why we're freaking out about it is because our fear has been allowed to dominate.
Bingo.
We don't go and we don't look at the flu, and we don't go, oh my god, it's got like a 0.3 chance of killing me. Let's stay in our house and shut the entire country down and give up every freaking right. No, we don't, because we're more logical than that. We're logical beings. We have the ability to assess things and look at things and say, okay, this is ridiculous. But the problem is we're not using it, or most of us aren't. You go into a store, and, you know, me and Becky just had to go the other day, and I'm looking around and I'm like, Becky, we're the only 2 in this store without a mask on. And it gets insanely scary because it's like, okay, what are you willing to say no to?
Correct.
First,
Nothing.
it's the masks. Then it's disarmament. Then it's the loss of freedom of speech. Then it's we're going to cage those who won't cooperate with our unconstitutional orders. Guys, this is very much the downfall of the United States as we see it. And yet you got people, and I'm sorry if this offends anybody. I love everybody. You want to wear a mask, wear it.
Right.
But you cannot scream patriotism and rights and freedom while wearing a mask. You cannot. Now, I get it. There are some people with immune systems that are shot, right? And they are more vulnerable to the disease. Not saying those people. But I'm seeing time and time again, these patriots are like, oh, I got a patriot mask on. And I'm like, that's not a patriot mask. Right. That's you complying while still trying to have some resemblance of freedom.
Correct. Yep.
It is mask or no mask. You are either complying or you are not.
Correct. There is no in between anymore on that.
No, you don't get to put a Trump 2020 mask on and go, oh, look at me.
Right.
No, you're still complying.
Right. And that doesn't mean that these folks can't do what they want. That's the key. But they could do what they want before.
Yeah,
Here's my
go
thing.
for it.
Right. If you wanted to wear a mask before COVID-19 was even named and labeled, wear one. You've seen it happen before. Someone with COPD, or they have asthma, or they are compromised when it comes to their lungs, they wear a mask. I get that. Or they're allergic to allergens. Cottonwood is all over the state. If you want to cut down trees, James Nebel, cut down the friggin' cottonwoods, because I hate when that shit gets stuck in my screens. You can't poke it out from the inside. And it makes people have hay fever or get allergies. And when they start coughing, and here it's August now, late fall allergies are going to affect.
Yes,
so
yeah.
They're going to start painting that and saying, oh, that person's coughing. We both smoke, right?
Yep, I have a smoker's cough.
Yeah. Did you ever have to suppress one? And then the minute you cough, someone looks at you like,
I'll be in the store and I'll be like, oh my God, I got to sneeze. Don't do it. You'll get tackled. I'm like running. They're going to get me.
Right. And see, that is where the government wants us. When we are separated, okay, we cannot win. Bringing the factions together, okay, is a must now. Even if they disagree with us politically, because as soon as we are fully taken, a divided team loses instantly. Together, unstoppable. That's how you win. However, it's getting to the point of, it was insanity 3 months ago. I am so sick of it. And again, I do understand. I have known older people that cannot have somebody help them shop. And they have to go in and buy food. So if they put the mask on to get in the doors, and they silently, but you talk to them and they're like, I am so sick of this stuff. And they have to do what they have to do to survive. But that is how the government wants you. Do what you have to do to survive. And then beg us for forgiveness when we catch you doing something that we don't like. And then if not, the badger will turn into eagle because he wears his sunglasses inside.
Oh, I know.
And then they have
I had that. Who was it? A lawyer asked me, about my upcoming trial, and they're like, well, if they ask for an apology, will you give it? And then we can get no, hell the fuck no. Hey, I'm not apologizing.
Hey, on the F score tonight, it is now Clay 6 to Badger 1. There you go.
I'm just saying. I mean, listen, I will not apologize for being an American. I will not apologize for my constitutional rights. And again, I know I keep saying this and I feel like I repeat myself all the time, but your constitutional rights are God-given rights.
Right.
The state has no control over those rights. And the only time we remain having those rights and being able to be free people is when you lose that fear. You go, I'm not scared of you, Gretchen, Dana. I'm not scared. Shirky, not scared of you. Not scared. You little old man balls do not scare me. Sorry.
Well, what's happened now is in 6 months, the government has turned itself into how China runs its people.
China has more freedoms than we do.
They do. And that's the thing. They have controlled supply chain, prices, availability, what you can wear, when you can wear, what you can say, your media, how you vote. And if you go against them, sure, they have elections, but they're banana republic elections. They toss up this tassel from my graduation against who they know is going to win. And then, if you speak out against them, you never get that seen again. Then the one thing that they do differently is the Chinese do not tolerate separating their people. They preach nationalism. They keep you conforming as one. And that's the key to the game. We can be nationalist Americans as one, but if we move this way, that's how you defeat government. But the Chinese have controlled it for so long that they've taken away their own people's ability to think what freedom is. Now, after 6 months, when you hear stories of people that can be fired for not demanding that you wear a mask in my store, that is what they're doing. They want to make every side conform, and it's like a chess game. The government is thinking of ways to outthink you at every turn. Yet we outnumber these bastards 380 million to 10. It is time. America says that is it. We own you, not the other way around.
Yep.
And why don't we do that? Because they are keeping people divided. They want somebody there saying, I don't like your sign. Well, I don't like your face. And I don't like your color. And I don't like your age. They're isming the world to death instead of putting the pieces together and saying, we're all in this together. Every state has a function. Every state has a reason. Every state has patriots. Some are so far gone, they're like Vermont. But
I think some of them mean well. Right? They mean well. Mm-hmm. They go, I want freedom and I want liberty and I believe in the United States and the Constitution. But I think we've lost this idea that freedom has a cost. And they don't want to pay that cost. And it's like, well, damn it, somebody's gonna have to. It's like I had this discussion on a Patriot thread today, and this guy is like me, and it just says there's no reason to wear a mask. There's no reason. The science has proven that it doesn't do crap, right? So if the reason why they're saying to wear a mask is inaccurate, the only other thing we are led to assume based on history is they want to see people conform. Not only that, they want to be able to point out, oh, well, this person, once we come for their guns, this person's not going to give us their guns. We should probably, keep an eye on that person.
And Biden's already saying that.
Right. So, guys, this is not just a mask, you guys. It's not just a mask. This is the beginning. I mean, I hate bringing up the Jewish community and what the Nazis did to those poor people, but look what happened to them. They kept going, oh, we'll just do this and we'll be okay. We'll do this. And how bad can it be? How bad can it get? And then the German population, they're not going to do anything worse than that. Right. Oh, they're taking away their business. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to. And eventually it does snowball to this whole situation where now you've got patriots being loaded onto cars and being brought to concentration camps. And everybody's like, that's such a huge leap, but it's really not, guys.
How bad can it get? How bad can it get? Trust me, Badger, this shower is good for you. That's how bad it can get. If you make people so oppressed that you could tell them if they were dying of thirst to drink the sand, and they would do it. And they slaughtered 6 million people. Not because they were outnumbered, but because they had taken ultimate control. 2 shout outs. Hi, Shell Bell, by the way. Shell Bell says baby hi. Shell. Hope she got some rest. And Christy Cook asked me if I saw something. Can you scroll up a little bit on it? And if you can post that because it's off of your feed. If maybe I can, I tell you what, I'll copy it and see if I can. No, I can't. Christy Cook asked if I saw this. Her son, Landon Calrissian and Crisco, they went to the lake today. Her son, age 7 or 8, got screamed at for asking to play with another child.
Yep.
What the hell is going on? That's
horrible, but it doesn't surprise me.
Got screamed at for asking to play with another child. This is now, I'm sorry, you are absolutely, yes, Tim Wallinga goes, these are very nice camps. The best camps are good for you. All you have to do is work for us. This is absolutely right out of the SS playbook. I'm sorry. And yes. And I'm not saying
that was one of their favorite sayings. I wish I remember how to say it in German, but it pretty much was for your safety.
Right.
We're rounding up Jews for your safety.
We're taking your gold teeth out for the collective good. For your safety. Yes, for your safety. And I'll tell you, I encourage you someday, if this ever ends and we get past this nonsense, go and visit the Holocaust War Memorial in Washington, D.C., and then spit, 1, on every public official that you see there, but 2, go and visit that memorial. And if you don't cry at what the hell went on to those people because they were oppressed and they were innocent people, they persecuted Jews, they persecuted those who didn't look. They persecuted gays. They took them and burned them and gassed them and stuck them and starved them and then shot them. It was sick government overreach.
And it wasn't
control.
just the Jewish either. That's what people don't understand. Hitler locked up and killed anybody that stood against him. You didn't like what he said, you were locked up and put in camps.
Correct.
You don't have to be a certain. All you got to say, like, seriously, it's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to say God bless America without getting your ass locked up, guys. This is bad. This is seriously bad. And yet I see these people are like, it's just a mask. No, damn it. It's not just a mask. Just like that star wasn't just a star. Guys, it is time to say no. It's time.
And you know what? Calrissian screamed at the mom that the masks don't help. Landon Calrissian, you just won a free small T-shirt. Put that up there. Christy Cook, I will send that out to you tomorrow because Calrissian stood up for his constitutional rights at age 8. You watched the video that we had with the business owner at the putt-putt place, right? Yep. You hear the carrier pigeon saying, we were already in there for 10 minutes. She is chirping at 8 years old. Common sense.
Yep.
We're in here for 5 minutes, the second time, or 10. Money in hand. All you had to do, you dumb shit, was take it, and then we'll go back outside. Because you didn't have to wear the mask out. We're already in here now, so we now have to exit the building to already pay you after we've been in here for 10 minutes. That is insidious crap because it's good for you. It's your collective good. And they can't explain it. Brian Buck corrected me a few times. It's not the HIPAA, it's ADA. Thank you, Brian, for having my 6.
Yeah.
When you're talking at once, sometimes you're just saying the words that are common. But what comes down to the point of when you have to sit there and argue with a business owner to give him money, and then you have an 8-year-old child say to the mom, these masks don't help. How come an 8-year-old child can be smarter than a 35-year-old mom?
Yep.
Because, did you ever go on a page and they don't like you? Like, well, you cannot be inconvenienced to have to wear a mask. You should just wear a mask because you know what? You don't care. You don't care. You don't care. Fuck you, bitch. Yes, I do care.
Very much. That's why I'm not doing it.
Right. I do care. I do care because the more and more and more we comply. That was 7 times. I'm sorry. 7 times on this side of the L as I was the F. So, and guess what?
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, good. You want 8? And if Mark Schmuckerberg don't like it, fuck you too, Mark Schmuckerberg.
Yes, fuck you, Mark.
8 times. You know what? Because not only are you taking away the First Amendment rights of people that you don't agree with and making multi-billion dollars of it, you are playing the government's game. You and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and George Soros, that fat asshole, can go right to hell because you are destroying the world with what you do. Just because someone has a differing opinion than you does not mean you have the right to suppress it. There comes there comes a point in time, where the American populace must stand up and say, this doesn't smell right. But too many of them are too stupid to realize that they are losing their rights that are happening every single hour of every single day. You're going to be China. How the hell did China take, 1 million years to become China? And in 6 months, 6 stinking months, our country feels like Albania. Is what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, we are in the wrong business. You know what we should have been was mask sign wearers with tape.
Oh, I refuse.
You'd make $1 billion selling these stupid signs. Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of like patriotic sites that I usually buy like all my cool t-shirts and stuff from, and they got masks. And I'm like, I never buying for your ass again.
Right.
Never. You should be shame on all those clothing companies. You shouldn't be worrying about making a dime. You should be worrying about spreading a message that's accurate to the community who buys your products. I could not believe that. I think even Grunt Style had them. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
There you go, 7-2. The Pittsburgh Badgers are coming back. It is now 7-2. Badger hits an F-bomb home run off of Kip Wells. Whack! She hit that thing. That thing broke right field. It was hit so hard. I love it. 7-2. Man, I'll tell you what. The Lone Star Spitfire will be very proud of this show. But
I know, right?
The world's famous Democrat, James, your favorite.
Hi, Jimmy.
Says I need a beer. Jimmy knows when you give me a beer, I kind of get all mellow and giddy. Bottom line is, when it gets to this point where the things that people are going through on both sides are insidious. There is no, I get it. The world changes. Let's say they decide, okay, the gasoline engine is now gone, and we're all going to water engines. You're going to have to deal with it if it's that way. Fine, and you learn to conform, and all the cars that were running on gas go away if gas ran out, and that's how the world changes. But when it's force changed, I mean, seriously, guys, you can't even. I've seen it happen. When you go down to the places that still have the paper boy that chucks the paper and hits the porch down in Lansing. We don't get paper delivery here in DeWitt anymore. But you go down to Lansing in the mornings and you see them trying to do. They cannot even toss the newspaper on your porch anymore. Now they stick it in either like right next to your mailbox or throw it in your driveway. Why even have a delivery service then? Just mail it.
Yeah.
It's how they are keeping you separated. What Calrissian went through today is a child, the natural inclination of a human being. And we are all descended from the same animal. If you are Christian, then you believe that it was Adam and Eve that started it. If you are an evolutionist, then we all came from apes and we evolved. However, what the hell right? There's a mixture of both. What do apes naturally do?
They're like a pack animal. Like they socialize.
Right. They come together. Okay, these aren't right. They come together in like Zimbabwe or in African nations. They call it Harambe or Harambe. My father's band was named Harambe, which means let's come together. Okay, and that's what they do. They congregate and they learn and they talk to each other. Human beings do that, regardless of race, regardless of culture, regardless of anything. Humans are not animals built to be alone, or you wouldn't have the ability to speak.
Which is why I believe Whitmer is attacking our social activities.
Yep, exactly.
Think about it. I can't go to a bar and meet a new person. I can't tell that person, hey, why are you wearing that mask? Could you explain to me why? And then they could say, oh, well, it prevents a disease. And I could say, well, what if I told you science says the opposite of that? She doesn't want us to communicate. She doesn't want us to gather. She doesn't want us to be able to organize. She's counting on people to be fearful of this. And I love, how I love me some Sam Adams. He's like my hero of the revolution. He actually said at one point, the truth is, all might be free if they valued freedom and defended it as though they ought, right? So what he's saying is, guys, you have to defend this freedom. So you have to stand. This freedom is not going to just exist because we've built it for you. You're going to have to defend this. And part of that is speaking. Part of that is being able to gather and to present to the government what we're pissed off about. And she has blown that out of the water. This should be something that every single freedom-loving patriot goes, ding, 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 something's wrong.
Right.
And yet everybody's, I have to wear a mask because she told me. Why do you think she has that power over you? Rita said, how about this? Does that say 2,000 people dead in Michigan long-term care facilities? Michigan AG getting tougher on violations. This is a video from YouTube. I don't know about that.
Depends on the source.
Yeah, we do know, we've seen video now of proof that Whitmer is sticking these COVID positive patients not only in the same facility, but the same effing room with elderly people.
Yep.
Now, do I believe the elderly are more vulnerable to this disease? I do, but the elderly are more vulnerable to any disease.
Correct.
But to stick a COVID patient in with an 80-year-old man and then let that man beat that man to death, there's something wrong. Think of ask yourself why. Why would Whitmer want to put sick people into a room with elderly, vulnerable people? Because Whitmer needs those numbers to skyrocket. because she makes more money, the facilities make more money, and then she gets to go, aha, let's take more rights. Right. And then some of y'all idiots are like, okay, it's for our own good.
and James Nebel, speaking of Sam Adams, James Nebel, if you say I need a beer, I'll take one of them good Sam Adams you usually have in your house. So that's a good beer. But put his up on there, because Jimmy, for the first time in a while, I get to fundamentally disagree with you. Okay. Yes. He goes, all governors are doing the same R&D. No, they are not. Kristi Noem hasn't done that. Okay. And when I was talking to you before the show, Steven Sisolak today, here's my shout out to Tim Lalexa, or Haskell in the non-dyslexic, needs to take a picture of his Eagle and Badger shirt world of Nevada, and all of our Nevada Patriots from the border all the way to Carson City. He is now probably going to shut the state down again because he was upset the way Trump supporters rallied last night in his city, in Las Vegas. Are you kidding me? That is not what Kristi Noem did. If Biden went to South Dakota, she would not say one damn thing about a Joe Biden rally. Okay, this is a Democratic socialist takeover.
Let's talk about the 5 top COVID states in the country. Guess what those were? Democrats. Yep. Guess what each and every one of those 5 did? Clay, what they do? They put COVID positive patients in with the elderly. That is fact, not opinion. Truth bomb.
Yes, and you have 5 states: Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, Nevada, New Jersey. All 5 Democrat governor run. They are doing this on purpose because they know there's large population bases there and they can control it. And what they're doing is manipulating not just your life, but your economy. It's like being the Bismarck. You are getting hit from every angle. It's only a matter of time before you see it.
Also not talk about the fact that a lot of those states are key states in what?
Correct.
The upcoming election.
Yep.
What was the biggest selling point on Trump? Best economy ever.
Right. And in 1 month, it became the worst economy ever. However, 1.5 million jobs are created in the last month. So the thing went down to 10.2% now. That will continue to go down the more these states reopen and say enough. But you've already lost over 8,000 small businesses in this country. Now, Jimmy is very big on talking about the corporate control. Mm-hmm. I agree with him, because if you pick and choose who can sell a shirt and say it has to be bought from Badger Mart, okay, and I'm the little haberdashery and I want to open up Eagle Mart and sell my shirts, and the government is going to give you government handout welfare to crush my initiative, what the hell would I ever go and employ people for? That is what the government's doing. So this has been a fundamental suppression of 1, 2, 4, 13, 14, all across the board since this crap began. It's a full attack on the Constitution, and because people do not see it going on. They do. Yep. It's just that they are so compliant. There has to come a point in time where there's got to be enough socially conservative Democrats that say, what the hell, man? I just want to go back to work. And it's like, it does come to the point where you get, let's see, updated August 6, 2020, total case by state. California, okay? Florida, Democrat. New York Republican. City, Texas.
Democrat. That's still Republican, right?
Yeah, that's Abbott.
Yeah.
Georgia. New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Arizona, North Carolina, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania.
Hey, James, it's all like, it's not in table format, or I can't really understand. But I'll look at it. I'll look at it, Jimmy.
Right. But case by case, we're testing everybody now.
Yeah.
So, of course, the cases are going to go up. The bottom line is it began with the fearsome fivesome, and everybody else followed suit except for a handful of them. And it just ran its Utah, for God's sake, has Romney out there, but Utah played it right. Open up. I remember when Skip and Melissa drove all the way back to Michigan from Carson City. They showed me a picture in Utah, like Moab or somewhere, where they're eating inside a Denny's restaurant. This was May.
Eating inside
a Denny's. And when you think eating inside a Denny's restaurant is a luxury in the world, something's screwed up in the world. And
Right.
South Dakota, same thing. Illinois, you
Well,
could
yeah,
put
I mean,
you could put God in charge of Illinois. You can't fix Illinois; they're so bad. But it's
well,
it's to the point of
Dennis just brought up a good thing. He said, you can get COVID if you wear a mask or not. Had a friend pass away today and he wore a mask. I have a friend, Brian, who he wears a mask all the time. And he ended up getting what is it called? It's when that film gets on your lungs. I forgot
herpes.
what it's called.
Oh,
What?
I don't know. Chlamydia. What?
But it's from breathing back in your carbon monoxide or whatever. It's like
Gotcha.
a coating that you get on your lungs, and it's because he like wears a mask all the time, and he ended up having like a heart attack, and like they thought he had like blood clots, and so it's just like, okay, we know for a fact the masks do not prevent it. We know that it doesn't prevent shit. So why are we doing it? I don't get it. I don't get it.
And what gets me is all you have to do right now is take a look at how fundamentally stupid sports are to watch. You have teams that have played 13 or 14 or 15 games, and others played 5. When are they going to make those games up? If you're going to shut it down, period. But this compromising crap where you can have a game but no fans. Imagine if you were selling souvenirs or hot dogs or were part of Aramark. You might as well stick a fork in Aramark. They're done. Because if you can't have a baseball game in Pittsburgh where they get 3,000 fans when they're doing well, how are you going to have a football game where they get 65,000 of them? And hockey, is going to be the weird one because they don't play outside in a park. They have a dome. So if they have COVID in all of them, where's it going to go? There has to come a point in time. And people that are slaves to these numbers, which Rita nails it, they're not always accurate. There comes a point where you got to say, you know what? You could test the whole world for bald traits. The more you test, the more you're going to find out you have the bald trait. Okay, fine. But
we've become very narcissistic as a human race. Like, it's like, okay, when did we become this population of people that think they can prevent death? Right? Like, death is going to happen.
Right.
Disease happens. Death happens.
Yep.
And it's really kind of like crazy because to me, it's kind of like, like I'm going to die at some point. I've died twice in surgery. Like, I'm not afraid to die. We have to say, like, listen, I mean, it goes back to life so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased with the price of chains and slavery. Like, that right there has got to be like a wake up, right? It was for them back then, and it has to be for us right now. Like, I will not ever be able to accept a peaceful slavery. Right. If that means my death, then so be it. Because, like, I just don't get it. I don't get the value in living your life as a slave. And that's what they're asking. They're asking us to be slaves once again.
You asked when it began. 1964 and 65 is when it began, when the Great Society. Remember that? Nope, you don't remember that.
I wasn't alive.
It was one thing when you had the New Deal, of the 40s, that was done by Roosevelt, who was the first stinking socialist to come down the pike, who held onto the job like a friggin' pope anyway, and started shoving work projects down your throat, and everything was free to get the country out of a depression. However, the war would have pulled out of the depression anyway. But 1965 comes along, and Lyndon Johnson wanted to suck everybody onto the welfare rolls and basically have all this social crap that became a form of making permanent underclasses. So what was sold to help you, good for the collective good, made you so weak and addicted to the handout. That the
Right.
minute you try to say no, you get revolts from the ones that have been living on, they've been sucking off of government's tit for 50 years. Okay, is what they're doing. And there's got to come a time where you say, no, you're on your own. Okay, and it's going to come because the minute that the Treasury, that's where the whole ball of wax comes. If you truly want to go ahead and crack the nation in half, nope, we're now out. And there's no more checks coming in the mail. What are these folks going to do? These will be the same ones that will sit around waiting until waist-high water is swimming around their necks while the Katrina dams just flooded them over. Man, if you know a hurricane's coming to your house in a week, you could walk to Arkansas in a week from that hit. Okay, but they did not, because government was going to do the good for them and save them. It took them 8 days to get friggin' water to the Superdome, for God's sake. It doesn't wash. Government will never save you, folks. And if you believe it, you're dumb. Bottom line.
That's not their job. The government's job is not to save you. The government's job is not to provide for you. The government was set up as it's supposed to be run to protect your God-given rights. Not to give you your rights, but to protect those rights.
Correct.
And right now, as it is run, it's there destroying your rights. And everybody's going, it's for your own good. Ah!
Take the blue pill. Take the red pill. Take the green pill. It's good for you, Amadra.
Come to the dark side. We have
eat the penguin. It's good for you. Kiss the badger.
Badger says, just say no.
That's right. Penguin says, ditto that. And word to your
we got a high five.
Word to your mother. It is. But that is where the world is now. They have divided it long enough where you have you have folks like us. I get the fact, man, if you have no legs and you can't see, that's why I don't mind paying taxes for folks that truly need it. But I am sick and tired of paying it for one to be given to Lockheed or something like that, and then also giving to someone who's never had a job in their life. All right.
Well, here's my thing.
You do not need
for the poverty for, people who need help out of the kindness of our hearts. When you take my money and you give it to somebody else and I have no control over that, that's theft. I can give. I give to people all I can, as much as I can. But for the government to take our money and say, we're going to give it to somebody else, that's theft.
Right.
And
it's like, that's what churches are there for. If you were hungry and poor and you said, hey, can you help me? The churches typically will. They give you a free meal. Now you can't go to church.
Yep.
Now you can't even go to a mission. And sometimes getting into these places that are there that your taxes do support is darn near impossible because you want to help somebody who's underprivileged. That is your second natural inclination of being a human being. You congregate and you always want to help somebody that is struggling. If you don't, then you're really not a worthwhile human being. How come the Democrats never talk about Margaret Sanger? Because it's an embarrassingly ugly part of their history, as was Woodrow Wilson.
Yep.
An avowed.
Do you know who Margaret Sanger is?
Oh, tell him, Badger. Tell him.
Oh, we know who Margaret Sanger is. Okay, Democrats who are watching and liberals, hang on to your seat. So Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, who was actually a really close friend with who? Hitler. She loved his eugenics program. Margaret Sanger has been on record, and this is public. It's fact. It's all over the place. You just got to look for it. The reason why she founded Planned Parenthood was to eradicate the Black race. She straight up came out and said, this is why we're doing this. We're going to eradicate the Black race. And guess what? Now we have the left and majority of Black African Americans saying, we love Planned Parenthood. And now we have in the state of New York, where there's more babies killed. This is also a fact, scary, sad fact. There's more babies killed, Black babies killed in the state of New York than there are born in the state of New York.
Which is absolutely that's a travesty.
Yes.
That's a sick, horrific fact of the world.
Yep. But yet someone like me that says, I value life, I don't care what color that baby. Why do you think Planned Parenthood is set up in low-income neighborhoods? They get paid. Not only do they get paid for the baby parts, they get paid by the government for abortions. They have some sick, twisted things they do with those baby parts. But this is, again, another part of the Democrats' history that they want to erase, which is why we see them trying to erase history.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nancy's all like showboat, and I'm taking down these racist people's portraits in the Capitol. Newsflash, Nancy, those are all Democrats.
Correct. And that's exactly right. What I would like to know, and you do realize in Congress there are more millionaire Democrats, James Nebel, than there are Republicans?
Yes, there
That's
is.
a fact. But two, did you see the latest, let's have Joe Biden relate to the people? And he goes down his driveway zooming in a 1962 or 1 convertible Corvette. Okay, inner city youth, poor people. I'm talking right to you now. I would like you to tell me, who do you know has a convertible early 60s model Corvette? Okay? Please, I'll wait 100 years for that answer, because this man does not care about you at all. Why? He's got his, living in his mansion, in his own little basement, driving his sports car down there, forgetting his own damn name and who his wife and his sister is, thinking that he's going to defeat himself. And then Pelosi, who is also a multi-millionaire, is up there sitting there saying, well, I care. Yeah, Pelosi, you're a liar. Take your clickety-clack teeth out, put down the damn liquor bottle, and shut your face. And by the way, if you want to go ahead and retire now, good, because you suck too, Nancy. Then you get Chucky Schumer, who's even worse.
Bye, Nancy.
Okay? These people do not care. All righty? When you care, you give somebody the opportunity to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which Trump did. Trump does not care what you look like. He doesn't care what color you are. He doesn't care who you sleep with. The man once employed, when he was able to control his own company, 141,000 people worldwide. Trump International. Do you truly think that they were all rich, white, straight, Republican men? Hell no. If you think that, then you wear your mask and suck it down your throat. Think it's going to save your life.
Because
that is bullshit.
Republicans who actually sleep in their offices in DC because they won't take any money from special interest groups, so they can't afford to live in DC. See, I don't think people understand the way DC is. Like, it's hard to find an apartment that's affordable, much less these 10-bedroom mansions that some of these people have. So I know a couple of them that they literally work and sleep in their office. Like, one of them has a pull-out bed. He pulls his bed out when he's ready to go to bed at night, sleeps, pulls it back in, and then he's got leftists screaming because the offices have to be cleaned, right, by the cleaning companies, and they're screaming that they shouldn't have to pay a maid to clean his office because he sleeps there too, so it's his house, and that's misappropriation of the people's money. And I'm like, girl, you're gonna have to clean that office whether he sleeps in there or not.
Well, so, Jimmy says I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Jimmy says I don't have 1 million. Thanks for calling me out, Jimmy. You're missing the point, sir. We don't have 1 million. Okay, most people that we know do not have 1 million. Because if we did, trust me, guys, if I had $1 million, I'm going to set my family up and myself for the rest of my life and retire. All righty? Period. We don't. The point is, when a politician who has more money than that anybody can earn, everybody along this thread works 50 times harder at their jobs to earn enough to get by and hopefully save a little bit for your future, what did the politician do to earn it? Nothing. So Joe Biden and his paid for cars is not earning it by doing a job. Okay.
Please tell me what Joe Biden will do that he hasn't done in the last 33 years.
Or Bernie Sanders.
He would have done it by now.
How many houses Bernie Sanders have?
Bernie just takes their money and runs.
Right. He takes their free houses and he's got a gift. Now, does that mean that there aren't greedy Republicans? You bet your ass there are. Okay. They suck just as bad. If these politicians truly cared about inner cities or the poor, they're already, the key word is multi. Okay. Multi means more than one. So they could honestly put their big fat wallets where their big fat mouths are and say, I'm going to take a couple million and I'm going to help somebody. Okay.
Right.
That came up today. A question came up today. I think it was Liz. And she goes, and she asked, do you get paid for this? Hell no. This is not cheap to do. This is not a paid job that we're doing. Being a patriot is one, expensive, and two, it comes from your heart. But you're doing it out of love and passion for your country. However, when you have folks that sit there and say, well, the government isn't entitled to make a paycheck. Sure it does. How many people you know make $167,000 a year to work about 3 months total signing paper? Are they building anything? No. Are they planning anything? No. They're buying sports cars, forgetting who the hell their sister and wife are, and they're running down there and they're living in their own basement. Yeah, that's the thing. They're corrupt, rotten snakes.
We literally we have I don't know, a million. I would be surprised if it wasn't close to that. A million different amendments and things, and it's why do we need those? We don't need those. What are you doing? It's like they want to keep themselves in a job. So they create these situations where we need another bill. We need another law. No, you don't. What the hell do you need? Right. Listen, you go back to the Constitution as it is written, as it was originally written, and I can guarantee you that will cover a majority of the things. If you read it, okay, listen. Obviously, the 13th Amendment we need. Absolutely. Sure. Nobody's arguing that. But you could also argue that it says all men are created equal. So quit being a dick and just say all men are created equal. That means men and mankind, women. It's not just saying men. It's say mankind. That's how it's read in a legal journal or dictionary, by the way. Men is mankind.
Yeah, it includes women. Trans. It includes everybody.
I don't care who. Yeah, it's everybody, right? It's gay and lesbian and Jewish and Christian and man and female. And it's already covered there. Just enforce it. Come on.
When the 13th Amendment, as it stands now, was put into place, what did the original 13th Amendment read as?
The original 13th Amendment, that was about title, right? No person could hold office if they had a title, right? So from England title.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember when Katie touched upon that? Esquires and things like that. Because you now see it I am so-and-so attorney at law Esquire, Junior, the second, fourth by width of the Duke of Earl, whatever. The bottom line is, if that was something that was, what's wrong with that? Who should have a title? Why was it put in to replace that, which has then corrupted other things? Now you have titles again. I am Sir Esquire Jr. Why don't you just go ahead and say, we will make this amendment? We will make this amendment to abolish slavery and make it after and keep that one. Why do they revise it? Because the government was running rampant even then. That's the thing. When you have an amendment put in, it should be for the good of all, which the current 13th Amendment is. But why would it replace something that was already there to protect everybody in the first place?
That's what I don't get. I'm just it's not that difficult, guys. It's literally And people that, oh, you don't want gay marriage. It's not that I don't want gay marriage. I'm just like assuming under the Constitution that a gay person has the same rights as I do. And I'm saying, there it is. Enforce it. It's already part of our laws and our Constitution. Correct. Just enforce it that way.
Correct. So no, enforce it that way.
I'm not against gay marriage. I'm not against, but I'm just saying it's already there. Just enforce it.
Right. Enforce like, the law as
we could go and have maybe 20 laws in our land and we'd be fine. But like these people are just, they want that power over the people. They want somebody to go, I have no flipping clue what this says. And then somebody else can say, oh yeah, you're right. You have no clue what that says. That means you need a lawyer. You know what I mean? Or right. I have no clue what this says, so I can't petition my government and say I don't agree with it. They want you confused. They want you to feel like you're an ignorant F, and they want you to be like, I'm not smart enough. I don't know what this says. But you're not. You're smart, and you know the basis of our country, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That's all you effing need in society.
Exactly. But you don't have that anymore. There was a time back not so long ago when our grandparents did understand that. Okay. So James, who says King James for president, I know where he comes from as a Democrat. Okay. He was raised from good stock. Oh, he said he learned to see both sides. Don't hurt anybody, understand the law, and follow it. Okay. Right. Because back in our day growing up, if you flipped off a cop, that cop would back up and say, hey, kid, learn some respect. Now you see it happening all day long.
Then the cop would bring you home to your mama, and then your mama would handle that stuff. Right. But we don't have it. We have moms going, it's because my kid's black, or it's because my kid's a good kid. No, your kid's an asshole.
Right.
I don't care what color you are, mamas.
Correct.
Get your shit straight.
And that's what happens.
That wasn't a racist statement. I'm just saying I've seen it happen before with white mamas too. No. They're like, my kid's an angel. Your kid just shit on my porch. How is your kid an angel?
Right. And the thing is, they are not taught accountability. And when accountability is forgotten and you expect them to understand how to read the Constitution, no. These folks do not function anymore with wisdom. They function with emotion. That's all they know anymore. That's how the government wants you. Angry, confused, and dumb. Okay? Yep. That's strike one, strike two, strike three, and then the government appeasers will come in. We know you're angry. We know you're confused, and we'll save you. That is what's going on. That's how you create socialism. You're angry, confused, and flippant. But we can fix all that. Just trust us. I have this bridge here. It's pretty and shiny. Please mail $10,000, everybody here, to Clay Coey via XYZ Street in East Podunk, New Jersey, and I'll sell you this bridge. And by the way, if you believe that this is the letter J, it only costs you $500, and I'll teach you. And if you drink the purple Kool-Aid, you will find the promised land. This is James Jones crap, is what it is, and our own government is doing it to us. Drink the Kool-Aid.
That's also another quote by Sam Adams. Mankind are governed more by their feelings than by reason. Right. That's actually another quote for that. I love that man.
Penguin
Sam Adams is like my hero.
Penguin here says, drink the Kool-Aid. Badger, drink the Kool-Aid. It's good for you. See, I'm nodding my head at you. Drink the Kool-Aid. You'll love it. Oh, as we pan right, I think we have a Strider cameo appearance. It's Strider! How's it going, Strider?
Here, you want to say hi to Uncle Clay real quick? Say.
Hi, Strider.
Hi.
How are you, kiddo?
Good.
Are you being good for your mommy?
Mommy will be in there in a minute. Oh, he left. Well, he's going to leave. Tell Sissy to go take care of it. His scab came off, so he thinks he's bleeding to death.
We get asked a lot of questions, and one, again, a huge thank you to folks like Liz and Casey, folks that give things to our children. Okay, thank you to the Badger.
Yeah.
the carrier pigeon wants to sleep with the penguin, because she got Shaky Baby and she has the unicorn. Yeah. But the bottom line comes in. That is the generation for which we stand. Because if Strider is not taught what James and Brian and Bethany and Adam, Mr. and Mrs. Hawk, and you and me have learned, the government can easily control them with a snap of the fingers. Yep. That is why you want your children to question their leaders. People get frustrated as parents when your kids ask why. Because I said so. That's always the answer we give them. Now, it's one thing if they flush your toilet and wash your hands. Why? Well, okay, you're going to get that right.
Because you're going to die of COVID.
But if you sat there, it's the same thing that's going on now, and you see it happening in the schools. You must obey. You must just do what we say. Look, bitch, you ain't my parent, and I'm going to ask you why you're making me describe to you why 6 + 5 is 11 in poker chips in this new math crap that is confusing a child's brain, but that's how they want you. So they want you to conform to get the A so that you go home and your parents say, oh, little Johnny got an A. Oh, he's a great student. He's so brave because he had to get his drive-by diploma. This is the nonsense. Bravery and leadership has become so petty that these children who graduated from high school this year couldn't graduate with their friends. They were brave. They survived 2020. You know what? My fathers and my ex-father graduated in 1968. They got out of high school and got a paper saying your ass is in Vietnam now. That's bravery. Okay, These kids now, they're so brave. They got their roly crapola.
The other day. I mean, I feel bad for them, but I didn't have a graduation.
What's that?
Didn't kill me.
Bethany Brown Heiko says, whatever you're doing over there, it sounds like you just broke your house.
I did.
Yeah, I think it was the Twins yesterday. Guy hit a home run so hard it sounded like it broke left field, but that's what it kind of sounded like. Clunk. Bethany Brown Heiko says some Pittsburgh thug lingo tonight. It's telling it like it is. Bethany Brown Heiko, Mrs. Hawk, I love you. But there comes a point in time, and East Coast people, I'm not talking Michigan. We think we're East Coast. You're more center here. Okay? We should be on Central Time, by the way.
We're not East Coast. We're Midwest.
But we're on Eastern Standard Time. That's what gets me. A New Yorker, a Philadelphian, a New Jerseyite, somebody from like Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, even Youngstown, Ohio. As you get more west, people are technically more passive. In the East Coast, they always why? Because folks were there. They came across through Ellis Island as an ethnic melting pot. So you had so many cultures coming together as one to build something, and they were passionate about their beliefs. They knew from where they came, but they came here for a dream and a goal to build it. And they instilled that in their children. And then they made enough money and they moved west. Okay? When California was a place you wanted to move, they made their money in steel mills after working 50 years and retired in Ventura or San Diego and lived in paradise. Now, you get people who want to move there, and they're hooked on the welfare program because they get it. That's the crap. That state is gone. So lost that, man, I'm not meaning to sound like a thug, but eventually you got to call BS when you see it, and enough folks need to stand up and say, this is garbage, because when you got states that are so traditionally agrarian or conservative or hardworking folks like Virginia that is blue, we're losing this battle, is what you take a look at. So that's why Dennis Thomas wants the whole world to move to Alabama. Why? They have common sense down there. They've learned their lessons of what they did wrong in 1865 and before then, and now they just want to get along and work. Same with Texas, Mississippi. Colorado was once like that. You don't mess with it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. But you don't mess with an Eastern Slope Coloradan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Western Slope has become California Chicky. Vail. It's so pretty. And you get Stevie Nicks, and you get these Hollywood liberals that want to move there with all their millions. They could do something good for the people in Columbine area, Highlands Ranch, or Denver if they truly cared. Nope. They want to live in their mansions and preach to you all the stuff. Did you see the list of names that Gary and Graphics sent us?
Yeah, I
All-
couldn't even like read them. I was like, oh my God.
That's
It's
what I
horrible.
mean. Yeah.
It's
if
horrible.
if you put the salaries of those people together, and I'll read you what it is. And I'm looking at it as I'm coming home. And it's like, these are the ones. Holy cow, you got to scroll 3 or 4 times. That all visited. Yes, that all visited. What was the island's name?
Epstein's Island.
Epstein's Island. If you put together the collective net worth of this, you probably have more money swimming through the. Yes, Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, Errol Flynn, Jeffrey Epstein, Heidi Fleiss, Allison Mack. That is more than probably the gross national product of the Eastern Seaboard of the United States that you put on Bill Murray, Bill Hammond, Ehud Barak, whatever that is. It goes on and on and on. All these folks that went there, they had the money to go to an island with a pedophile who didn't kill himself, by the way.
No.
But we'll get to that later. But the bottom line is these leftists want to preach to you how to live your life, because then they make the little commercials and say, I care. I'm responsible.
Oh,
I understand.
God, did you see
Yeah.
that?
Remember that one? Yes.
I care. You can see their eyeballs. I mean, maybe not everybody can, but I can, because I've been trained to be able to read something and look like I'm not reading something, but it's like they're not even coming from the heart. You're reading something.
It is garbage.
People forget I've been in those circles on the West Coast, and I'm like, you have no clue how insane these people are. They bitch and moan about, oh, I'm going to go to Africa and work for UNICEF for a month. Praise me. And I'm like, girl, if you didn't buy that $10,000 bag you bought last week, you could feed a whole flipping village.
Yes, please tell Pam Mazurwickets. Yes, Tom Hanks's name is on there.
Yes.
Right under Steven Spielberg.
The bottom line is the most disgusting people. I mean, like, I can't even stress to you guys. As Westerners and East Coasters, we don't see it, but like when you go there and you're in those circles, you see it and you're like, what the flippin' A is wrong with you? They're spending like $30,000 on like ice sculptures, and it's like,
yes, correct. And 1962 or 61 Corvette convertibles. We're a 78-year-old man who should not even be driving, by the way, anymore. The man can't even. You know what? I would love to have one day where Joe Biden can put a coherent sentence together. Okay, let's have that contest and have him do it. Because honestly, someone just said that Tom Hanks is on house arrest in Australia or wherever, or in Greece. Bottom line is,
him and his wife just became citizens of Greece.
Yes,
which is also the one thing
I know my kid misses it, but the one thing I do not miss are the stupid ass movies that Hollywood pumps out anymore. They suck. Not only do these guys make $20 million to make lousy ass movies where you're not acting anymore, you're in front of a green screen. Okay, go to hell, actors. I hope you. Yes, they can move and buy.
It's hard to act in front of a green screen. When you have a set around you, you're kind of like, okay, I can get into this. When you're like, no, I'm sorry. A green screen is hard to act because you don't have the environment. But I'm just saying. I'm telling you, it's harder.
How hard is
it? It is hard. It is hard. It's hard.
Yet you just griped about.
I'm not saying like what Tom Cruise said, that being an actor is harder than being a soldier. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not like people think like a film takes like a week to film. You watch a 5-minute segment of a movie, and I can guarantee you that's taken like 3 or 4 days, if not longer than that. So it's hard work being an actor. It's not like harder than being a troop in Afghanistan like Tom Cruise would like it, but it's not easy. You do it, Thinkley.
I could do it tomorrow. It is not hard to read a script. It is not hard to listen to what a director says. It's just that when you have a talent as an artist, it's an art. But these folks are not driving a hack. These folks are not fighting a war. And like you just said yourself, if these are the ones that want to go for UNICEF and help kids in Somalia, They have all the time to do it. But they also have the ability to make enough money, okay, that they could put it all there. Because, I mean, if you act in 3 or 4 movies and you make $20 million like Tom Hanks does, he's got so much money, he's never going to be able to spend it. He could help somebody if he had a heart. They are selling you, but these folks, a car salesman that stands on a car lot to sell 1 or 2 cars every day or two to feed their family, that's hard work. To go to a movie studio,
it depends on what level you're talking about. Like, like A-list stars, yeah, they make a lot of money and they get pampered and it's easy work for them. But like, if you get down to like some of the smaller films, like I've had to act in a film and work as a lighting assistant, like, and I got paid good money for it, but it was still, first of all, really hard. It's hard to get a role, right? You've got like 60 people. I'm on the TV. God damn it. You heard it. What? I know. Every time. They don't need me for hours at a time. And it's like, oh, Mom's going live. I mean, but so it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy work. You know what I'm saying? Like there aren't jobs harder than that, because there definitely is. But it's not like, I guess I just want people to like put all actors in this crazy like world. You know what I mean? Because I know some really good people that are actors. You never diss a working person, okay? And I could name you one type of actor that works very hard, okay? The thing is, they have to do something that is not scripted a lot of times, okay? And the stunt man or the stunt woman, alrighty, they are doing things where when Tom Hanks is running real fast, Jenny, doing that, do you truly think that Tom Hanks can run that fast? Okay, no. You have a stunt man. Right.
So he has to do the laborious thing. So that is where they come into play. They have stunt doubles. Their meals are set up for them on a smorgasbord. They're not paying for their meals.
Yeah. Oh, too. They
right.
They do.
I think your feed is going a little sideways there, Honey Badger, because I'm starting to see. I'm not sure if we have that, but you're right. I have no problem with actors. I have a problem with actors opening their fat mouths about politics. Okay? We don't tell them how to act. We just want them to do their job. Okay? So when an actor sits there and says, well, you have to live your life, and I understand, and I take responsibility, and I'm going to move to Canada if Trump is elected, then move. Put your money where your mouth is, Hollywood, because it is so rotten. That I don't want to hear anything that comes out of an actor's mouth. There's not one actor that I can thoroughly say that I would listen to what they have to say. Although, you know what? Who's the one that, Jon Voight? Jon Voight will actually speak some common sense. I just can't name 5. What are you shaking your head for?
I'm a trained actor. That's what I did for a living.
Okay, you're a trained actor. Great. So is my sister. But I don't think you want to talk politics with her because it sounds like gobbledygook. Okay, that's the bottom line. What you do great, alrighty, is this. You do great patriotism, alrighty? What she does great is acting. Stick to what you do great, guys, because that is where we have to get back with America. Nobody's sitting there saying, okay, if I want to go fix cars, I have to go and study how to fix cars because it doesn't come naturally to me. Like when I was training yesterday with the redheaded steamroller's husband, Anthony, and Jason, they have to teach you the basics first.
Right.
And then see if you are physically capable of doing this. And then you progress. And so I have great respect for folks that take all the time to study it. Like my sister, brilliant actress, brilliant singer, just like you. It's hard work to get there. But that's where they get there, and then they think that their mouth is bigger than yours because they have celebrity status. This is the problem we have. Right. And I can't name you one good film that Robert De Niro has made in 25 years. But why is his big mouth always flapping, trying to tell you how to live your life?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
He's not a good guy either. He's an
No.
asshole. Yeah.
Just like Marlon Brando was. They're always making a political statement. Instead of saying, okay, I was great in The Godfather, kind of lousy in the 4 or 5 before that, and I got lucky to get The Godfather because they wanted to give it to Ernest Borgnine and ended up giving it to Marlon Brando, and he does a great job. And De Niro was in Godfather 2. He did a great job. And Pacino. But then they have these time periods where they are not making good films, but they're still getting paid to make shitty ones. And then they have to open their mouth about politics because they care. If you care so much, actor, go to Somalia and feed starving children. Go to Antarctica and save penguin eggs. Do whatever you have the money and the time to do. But you said it yourself. Then they want praise for doing that.
Well,
Bullshit.
and
We don't get praise for going out
not,
and being patriotic.
Yeah, no, and they're not in the nitty-gritty. Right. All right, well, I'm going to get off of here because my kid's freaking out because
you got to go spend time with the kids. Great show tonight, folks. We had a great patriotic day, and we love you. We not only have the smartest, most well-informed, but also the most beautiful audience in all of media. Please, if you haven't already done so, by the way, congratulations, team. We are well on our way towards 1,000. We are past about 915, I believe, now. Thank you all. So. Yes, we are. Great job. Eagle and Badger Show. Like the page. Remember Badger? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. No. We gotta go. Make sure to go in. And follow. Drink the Kool-Aid. It tastes good on the Eagle and Badger Show. We love you guys. God bless you all. Bring your friends. We will see you probably tomorrow. I got to check my schedule. Love that. Honey Badger. Bald Eagle here. Bald Eagle and the
Honey Badger.
Signing off. Eagle and Badger Show, where patriotism goes